ライオン神エスカノール様だ。震えるさ。
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Critic Alex, and today we're going to be talking about final boss GOWTHER preparation because I'm pretty sure it's coming with the Monday night update. But first, big shout out to everybody that went over and subscribed on the 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross page because we did hit 100k subs, which means that they are going to be giving everybody 25 of each of the demon materials and a GSSR, part 1 GSSR SSR tickets. So that's dope. And they'll be going out to everybody soon. So yeah, also guys, subscribe to my channel. Once we hit 100k, we're also going to send out a GSSR, so let everybody know about that. So final boss GOWTHER is coming. Like final boss King, you're going to have 3 different difficulties. You have whatever, hard, nightmare, and hell. And then like final boss King, you have, you know, rules that you have to follow and sort of guidelines and sort of a strategy. And then you also have rewards of cosmetics, cups, the 5-star stones, the anvils, etc. And then you got the ranking rewards for being in the top whatever percentage. So I'm going to be going through a preparation guide. This is essentially just characters that you may have been building up and you stopped, or you haven't built up at all, but you could build them up in the meantime. Obviously, there's not necessarily a rush to do these things, but if you want to be ahead of it and if you want to be able to jump into the fight on the very first day, you're more than welcome to continue watching the video and, you know, hear what I have to say. Obviously, these events run for like 2 or 3 weeks, so it's no rush. It's not like a one-day thing. You have lots of time to farm, and you can keep in mind you can always just farm the lowest difficulty, and you can still get most of the rewards, if not all of the rewards. It's just really going to, it's only going to impact how much stamina you use, and then it's going to impact what the rewards you are, what rewards you get, and what percentage you are in terms of this bracket. But I'm sure even if you do the normal one, you can always get at least like top 70%, maybe even top 50, depending on whether you get a really good score on hard difficulty. So the first thing that I want to talk about as far as final boss GOWTHER goes, so you guys can sort of conceptualize the fight. I'm not going to show the fight. You can look up videos for that. Nagato and other Sekapoko and other YouTubers all have videos about final boss GOWTHER from JP. But if you remember final boss King, all of these final bosses have 2 phases. You have the first phase where you fight the regular version of GOWTHER, the regular version of King, and then you have a second phase of the fight where they turn into, you know, so this is the end of the first phase. And then you have the second phase where they turn into sort of their evil version, or like the corrupted version, and things change. And like final boss King, you have these characters, or sort of totems, whatever you want to call them, you know, mini bosses that are next to GOWTHER, like you had the little howling wolves for King. For final boss King, the strategy was remove buffs in the first phase, and then remove alt and nuke in the second phase, and you wanted to just completely ignore the little totems because you couldn't kill them, you couldn't deal damage to them because they were just at infinite HP. And then in the first phase, the wolves would, well, also cleanse in the second phase. In the first phase, the wolves would buff King. In the second phase, the wolves would debuff you and lower your defense. So that was sort of the strategy for the King fight, for the King final boss fight. The strategy for the GOWTHER final boss fight is AoE and single target, which is a really interesting change of pace. So what I mean by that is in the first phase of the fight, if you kill the ads are like the little mini bosses. If maybe we can't see the little mini bosses, but anyways, GOWTHER will have 2 of those mini bosses that you saw there. If you kill the mini bosses in the first phase, I believe it gives GOWTHER some sort of crazy buff. So you cannot kill in the first phase. You're not supposed to kill these. They will taunt. So when they taunt, you either have to remove their taunt, remove their stance, or you have to just stall and wait. But that's what happens in the first phase of the fight. And you basically just have to do single target damage to GOWTHER until the very end, and then if you can kill GOWTHER and kill them at the same time, then just whatever, do your thing. I'm pretty sure. In the second phase of the fight, if you don't deal damage to, I believe, all of them every single turn, then GOWTHER will heal. So it's sort of like you're punished for doing AoE in the first phase, especially if it does a lot of damage and kills the little mini bosses. And then in the second phase, you're punished for not doing AoE. So it's actually a really interesting sort of design and change up. But on top of that, there are a bunch of rules that you need to follow. So let's just talk about this really quickly. So final boss GOWTHER, although final boss GOWTHER has attacks from both red GOWTHER and I believe blue GOWTHER and maybe even green, final boss GOWTHER is red, so strength, which means that they are weak to speed, aka blue characters. This is so confusing for Marvel Future Fight players because speed is green for us. But anyways, so yeah, Final Boss GOWTHER is red, which means they're weak to blue, which means they deal way more damage to green units. So you don't want to bring green units. Maybe you bring red units. Maybe you bring like your own GOWTHER. But you definitely don't want to bring green units to this one. You could bring red, but you definitely want to bring blue. You can't cheese them with freeze or petrify or anything like that because they're immune to debuffs. GOWTHER's immune to debuffs. And then here's the most important thing. 300% more damage dealt against green types, which is why you're not going to bring green types anyways. You're not going to bring Escanor, etc. And demons. So even though blue characters are recommended, like blue, demon, Meliodas, yeah, GOWTHER deals 300% more damage against demons. So you basically can't bring demon Meliodas. You're going to get clapped hard. And so you need to also, in addition to that, because of GOWTHER having the skills and the abilities of red and blue GOWTHER, you have to be able to cleanse because, you know, blue GOWTHER applies like all these crazy debuffs. If you go and look at the character, it's blue GOWTHER or green GOWTHER, I can't remember which one, but yeah, all of the GOWTHERs have debuffs, right? So if we go and look on for green GOWTHER has ultimate move damage and decreased skill ranks, and then blue GOWTHER has, I think it's actually blue GOWTHER. Blue GOWTHER has something else here, nightmare, yeah, inflicts weak, no, not the weak point, this one. Blackout disables debuff skills and buff skills. So he disables debuff skills and buff skills in the second phase, and in the first phase he will do Ore de Toda, and he will do the attack seal. So you're gonna need someone who can cleanse, and you need someone who can obviously deal damage. So you can't bring demons, you can't bring green units. So everybody that's a demon or a green unit automatically basically just wiped off your list. You're left with red and blue units. So who do you really want to bring? Again, blue units, you can't bring demons in the first place. Well, here's some amazing units right off the bat for this fight. You've got King. King is probably going to be the free-to-play MVP of this fight because he's got cleanse, he's got remove debuff, so he can always help you even with a bronze card, and then it ranks up for heal, so he's amazing. He can do some single target damage. I mean, it's not bad scaling. It doesn't go up until level 3, but you know, the bronze cards are not bad. You'd probably be better off using 2 bronze cards against the first phase GOWTHER fight to sort of single target down GOWTHER. And then you can also use the AoE either in the first phase or the second phase. It's probably recommended to save it for the second phase where you need AoE every turn. But this move also does insane damage. So Blue King is probably the best unit. You should be building him up for every other reason. So, you know, it's weird for me to tell people to build up Blue King because it's the first thing you should do, and you have to for the Knight's Way or the Hero's Way or whatever. But yeah, Blue King is amazing. Another unit that's amazing that we don't have yet, but we are probably going to be getting with Final Boss GOWTHER is Blue Lilia. So Blue Lilia, like Green Lilia, is going to have, you know, she's human, except she's blue. She's going to have the same affinity, etc. But what she does, in addition to having the unique passive that increases the penetration, or the pierce rate, excuse me, of your allies based on her pierce rate, she has cleanse, like King, so she's got a heal skill, and then she's also got an AoE attack that will rank down the skills of your enemies. So really good AoE, really good utility skill that can stop ults from happening, that can roll back GOWTHER, etc. So Blue Lilia is probably gonna be coming on Tuesday, and she's gonna be a step-up banner. So if you have 242 diamonds saved, you may want to do one rotation for her. She's an amazing character regardless for like pretty much all content. But just to let you know, she is one of the most highly recommended characters for the Final Boss GOWTHER raid, and it sort of makes sense that they're putting them together, right? Thankfully, it's not a lane; it's a character with more value this time around. And then the third character, probably the third best character for this raid, maybe possibly better than Lilia, or as good as Lilia and King, is Blue Liz Hawk. So if you've got a Blue Liz Hawk, but you haven't been building her up, start building her up. She's Goddess race, so she doesn't get any sort of penalty, but she does bonkers damage, especially with Amplify, so she has really good single target. You obviously can't bring her by herself because you need AoE for the second phase, but in the first phase, she is fantastic. And instead of King or Lilia, if you don't want to just cleanse, you can actually cleanse and apply solidifies. And each solidify gives you 30 resistance. If you do silver, you give it to all allies. And then if you do a gold, the gold solidify is insane in the second phase. Because in the second phase, GOWTHER will slap you with like 10 different debuffs. So it's like 5 different debuffs. If you use the gold solidify, you get 1+1 solidify for every single debuff. So that means 5 debuffs will equal 6 solidifies, which means that you're rocking like 180% resistance, which is bonkers. They're gonna patience you, basically, is what I'm saying. So yeah, it's a Valenti without Valenti. So she is actually just fantastic. She's so good for the fight. The only thing is she doesn't have AoE damage. So just make sure that if you bring her along, that you're, you know, in your mind thinking that you're going to bring someone who has AoE damage. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking blue characters. I just got blue Merlin. Blue Merlin's amazing, right? No, unfortunately not really. Blue Merlin applies a lot of like debuffs and lockout skills and things like that. Yeah, it just, the rollback is, the decreased skill rank is okay to take a little bit less damage, but you're going to be bringing healers like King and Lilia, etc. So the healing is sort of a non-factor for the decreased skill ranks. And she doesn't really do anything else, right? She does have an AoE attack, but the scaling is really bad, so it just really doesn't do much. And then Exterminate Ray or her Endless Whirl, it's just kind of whatever. So yeah, unfortunately, Blue Merlin not very good for the fight. But who else is good? Because there's gotta be more characters, right, Alex? Like there has to be more characters than this. Okay, well, you obviously can't bring Galan because Galan is a demon, so he's gonna get absolutely destroyed. Let's just, you know, throw that out there. Obviously, Blue Demon Meli. Some other really good units for this raid. Jericho is really good. Not so much for her single target damage, although it's okay because it's got Sever. She also does have healing, which you could use on a budget build if you don't have Lilia. It's really her unique. She's going to increase speed, so blue types attack-related stats by 10%. So that's attack, pierce rate, crit damage, and crit chance. So it's really nice to give you more damage. Possibly the teams that score high for the fight might be using her. They might not, I don't know, but we'll see what the top scores are for the fight. You know what? I haven't seen people talking about Deann for the fight, but she actually might be good because the fight usually goes at least 4 or 5 turns. So you're going to get that attack buff. And then she's got both single target and AoE. You're not going to be able to use any of the skills, and I don't believe GOWTHER gets buffs. Maybe GOWTHER gets... You know what? The GOWTHER ads get buffs, but I'm not sure if GOWTHER themselves get buffs. And then, of course, the alt deals insane damage, right? Insane AoE damage. I didn't see anyone talking about Deann. Interesting. Maybe Deann's good. I don't know. Anyways, I'm stalling a little bit. Marvis is another really good unit for this fight, for the final boss GOWTHER, because of the passive. Speed attributes HP. So you're going to have a huge chunk of HP, which is going to make you heal for more when you lose more HP with King, because he's got the based on diminished HP percentage heal. The rest of Marvis's skills are crap. He's just a roly-poly. But the passive is really good. Wineheight's not bad. Wineheight's not bad because he's got AoE, right, on all of his attacks, I believe. Yeah, all of his attacks are AoE, except for his alt, which is single target, so he does everything. So he can do AoE in the second phase when you need, even just a little bit of damage so that GOWTHER doesn't heal. And in the first phase, you can get his alt to sort of nuke and do single target damage. And he's going to synergize with Lilia or anyone else that you bring because he's going to be giving you more pierce rate. So that's going to increase your damage as the battle goes along. Wineheight's actually not bad at all. He's honestly a quite decent pick for this fight. Another decent pick that I've talked up a little bit for farming. Where is she? Blue Gila. My girl Gila. Gila. Gila's good. Now, you're not going to be able to take advantage of her passive because she's probably going to get hit, so you can't really alt-rush with her, but she has AoE with Ignite. The Ignite's not going to, I don't think, she's debuff immune, yeah. The Ignite's not going to work, but this is good for the second phase, and her alt is good for the second phase because it's all enemies and it removes stances. But what's even better is she has healing. She has debuff removal here, like King, and then she has healing like King with diminished HP. So she has the same heal or the same sort of rank up heal as King does, so she's a nice budget. Again, you have King, everyone has King, but again, it's a nice budget build if you don't have some of these characters, or if you want to put King together with Gila at the same time. And then Blue Arthur. Blue Arthur's not amazing. He's really not that good. I don't believe his passive works for everyone. It seems it's similar wording to Blue Lizhawk's passive, but hers says all allies, so I'm pretty sure this only applies to him. But he's decent because he has both single target with good scaling and AoE with bad scaling, very bad scaling. But it's AoE. It's AoE, so it's not bad. And then his alt deals single target damage with decent results, and you can rank it up pretty quickly because he's an SR character. And if you have the other Arthur, if you have Red Arthur, then you're gonna have a lot of cosmetics for him. So he might have higher base stats, and he's a human, so he doesn't have any of those penalties. So yeah, those are basically all of the characters. I guess you could use Rimuru if you wanted to. I don't know why you would. He might be okay, to be honest. He just doesn't do a lot of damage, and GOWTHER doesn't have buffs, I believe, so the rupture is not very relevant. But yeah, Rimuru could just be a huge tank for you. I believe GOWTHER in the first phase, the alt is single target, so Rimuru could absorb alts for you. In the second phase, GOWTHER has the Rewrite Light alt, which is the one that you see most often in PvP, and that's going to be AoE with alt gauge depletion. This one here. So you're going to be careful. You got to be careful about that. The taunt from Rimuru won't help on that phase. And then Meli is a demon as well. Yeah, he's not going to fly. The super budget blue Meli. I don't know if there's really anyone else that jumps out at me that's actually going to be good for this. I mean, this is for deathmatch only. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. Golgus is terrible damage-wise. Some people, I think, said blue Gil Thunder, but I think they were memeing. They couldn't be serious. I mean, the scaling's not bad, but no, I'm pretty sure I've covered everybody that's actually... Maybe. If you want to go super tanky with if you use Marvis as well, maybe. Huh. It's all single target, right? Yeah, he's all single target damage. Maybe blue Gil Thunder could actually work. There's obviously other units as well. You can bring along, like I said, you don't want to bring along green units because they're probably going to get nuked instantaneously. They're going to get disintegrated. But you could bring along red units, so it's not a total hopeless endeavor to bring along, for example, Arthur. You could bring red Arthur to buff up Liz Hawk. That's a common PvP strategy because he gives her 3 buffs, which is equal to 90% increase amplify damage on her main attack. That could be an option for you as well. You can sort of run like a modified PvP team. Some people talk about Blue Slater as well. He has stance removal, I believe, to remove the taunts, but it's a bit dangerous because if you do enough damage and kill them, then, you know, in the first phase, things go bad when you kill them. But yeah, those are basically the highlighted characters. There's not that many strong blue characters in 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross right now, to be honest, so you probably have most of those characters unlocked and maybe some of them even built up by now. So yeah, that's what I think. But let me know in the comments down below who you want to bring, and let me know if there's anybody else that I've missed that you think is a highlighted champ for this, because, you know, I can't necessarily give you an exhaustive list having not played it, but, you know, I've tried to do my best given the information that I have. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hit me up in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.